All right, so today's going to be a little different, or this video's going to be a little different because we're going to talk about essentially like an architectural feature, if you will, but a little broader than that. So, what I'm talking about today is natural lighting and natural lighting into buildings. So, there seems to be a little bit of a class divide actually on this topic, and it's pretty interesting to me. Well, I say it's pretty interesting. It is kind of interesting that it seems like really some of the like really low income houses, apartments, etc. It seems like people are all about blocking off the out of doors, and so windows. There's boards, there's curtains, there's all sorts of stuff that you can't really see out or see in. Is it because windows feel like a security threat? That could be. And so maybe, kind of blocking them off is the way they prefer it. Or is it that they view their house as like more of like it's where you hunker down and watch TV, and so natural light is not helpful? I don't know. And then you look at some of the luxury houses, right? And like they'll have these, gigantic windows sometimes. Not necessarily all, but natural lighting, abundant natural lighting, I think is normally a part of, how, really high-end homes are designed. And I love natural lighting. I love big windows and that sort of thing. And of course, you want some type of privacy blinds or something. Like it's nice to be able to close it off at night and feel like your home is a private space. But man, I like natural light. It's even interesting, like here at work. Most of the offices just have one window. There's maybe one that has two in it, and it's a decent sized window for little offices. It's nothing too special necessarily, but it's okay. But some of the people in this office, they're not actually a part of my company, since I lease or sublease, I guess, from another company, if you will. But some of these other workers here, they often like have their either just like have their blind cracked like maybe half a foot or something, or like closed basically all the way. Sometimes they have it up maybe halfway or maybe the whole way, but I'm pretty much the only one, I think, who like routinely has my blind up pretty much the entire way to let in as much light as possible. Now, I do see the point as far as like depending how your computer is set up, it can glare off your screen. That's not great, so I get that. But like, to me, I do not want to work in like a windowless environment, like divorced from the out of doors, like nature's sun rising and setting. The rhythm of the outdoor, the rhythm of the sun. Like I want that to be a part of my life, and for my mental well-being, whatever. Like I want to have some exposure to the out of doors, to the sun. And so it's just interesting that some people, apparently, is not really a big deal. They don't really care if they see the out of doors much during the daytime. But for me, even if it creates a little bit of like, it's not quite as easy to see my computer screen, I will pretty much always tend to have some type of like natural light shining into the room. Even if it's not maybe directly to where I can see it, if it's maybe even behind me a little bit or something, I will tend to pretty much always want to have some natural light coming in when I'm working. So, and then of course when I'm relaxing, I'm similar. Like now, maybe if I'm taking some sort of mega nap and I want it completely dark, that might be an exception. But for the most part, I like to have daylight during the day. So anyway, I don't know if that thing with the class difference, if it's really like, I'm sure there's maybe more exceptions than there are like the rule, if you will, but it does seem like there's a difference there in like how people view windows and natural light. And then of course you have the people who maybe aren't necessarily like really high or low class, but who essentially cover up their windows to where either it's like one of those like shades that lets in some light but not much, but they just keep them closed all day, or something like that, or curtains that kind of swing over the window and they kind of like cover up about half of the window even when the curtains are open. Kind of seems like a shame because, like I said, obviously, at 4 minutes in here, 4 or 5 minutes in, you can tell I like my natural light.